Huge. This is absolutely huge. Huge, huge, huge. Maybe even, quite frankly, probably bigger than China. Letitia Big Shame James just now, this is live breaking news, a criminal referral letter has been sent to the DOJ, Pam Bondi, Attorney General, and Todd Blanche. Remember Todd Blanche from that ridiculous sham 34 felony BS hush money crap with Stoney, whatever her name was. I forget her name. Stormy Daniels. This is like absolutely mesmerizing. This is such huge. An atomic bomb has just been dropped because Letitia Big Shame James. This is very, very serious. It's a referral that is sent by Bill Pulte, who is the director of the Federal Housing Agency. And there are documents upon documents upon documents of serious mortgage fraud. OMG. It is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to share with you exactly what all this means. I also have Jonathan Turley, legal expert, a clip from him talking about this. I'm going to explain everything. But first, watch this.
It's important that attorneys general representing our respective states stand up and enforce the rule of law. The President of these United States is not above the law.
No matter how rich, powerful, or politically connected you are, everyone must play by the same rules.
Please sue him for us.
Oh, we're gonna definitely sue him. We're gonna be a real pain in the
Oh yeah, baby, Big Shame James. What goes around comes around. This is absolutely, it's so delicious when things work out the way they're supposed to. It's so delicious when the universe, when God comes through. I just absolutely love it. Here are the charges. Watch. So April 14th, 2025. This just got released today, although it was issued yesterday by the U.S. Federal Housing Agency. You can see the Honorable Pam J. Bondi, the Honorable Todd Blanche, and the Department of Justice. Todd Blanche was in that courtroom every single day on that stupid, ridiculous charge. So Bill Pulte, who is the Director of Housing for the federal government, has written this to Pam Bondi. This is a criminal referral pursuant to my authority as director of the U.S. Federal Housing Finance Agency. I am referring the matter below. As regulator of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and the federal home loan banks, we take very seriously allegations of mortgage fraud or other criminal activity. Such misconduct jeopardizes the safety and soundness of FHFA's regular entities and the security and stability of the U.S. mortgage market. Payback is a B-I-itch, is it not? Oh my God, this is so good. I can't believe this. So this third paragraph is the most important. Based on media reports, Mrs. Letitia James has in multiple instances falsified bank documents and property records to acquire government-backed assistance and loans and more favorable loan terms. If your jaw's on the floor right now, so is mine. Can you imagine what I felt when I was first reading this? And if you're saying, well, why should our jaws be? If you're one of those and has no clue what's been going on the last 18 months, and you say to yourself, why is your jaw on the floor, Nez? This is the exact, somebody tell her in the comments, this is the exact same thing that she tried to charge him with, that Judge Gargamel, remember, in New York, $454 million when the banks, everybody who testified, they all said he didn't do anything wrong. As a matter of fact, he paid all of his debt back with interest, and we want to do more business with him. It's absolutely insane. This is like karma with a capital Arma. It's insane. Okay, I just want to read these allegations in a little bit more succinct kind of manner. I will leave a link if you want to check out that whole entire letter by Bill Pulte. So the allegations essentially center on a document signed on August 17th, 2023, where James declared a Virginia property as her principal residence. This property, it's a 1,400 and change square foot home in Norfolk, was purchased for $240,000 with a $219,000 mortgage, requiring her to occupy it within 60 days and maintain it as such for at least a year. So she didn't do that. This is mortgage fraud because she misrepresented her residency to get a lower interest rate, as primary residence rates are typically lower than for secondary residents. And it also, not only that, so even though she was lying about that and living in New York, let's say she said, no, I was living in there, and she listed it as her primary residence. This declaration raises concerns about her compliance with New York law, which requires the Attorney General to be a state resident, potentially affecting her office eligibility. So if this is substantiated, okay, and you know Pam Bondi's going to look at this with a microscope, as well as everybody involved, they could lead to legal consequences, including, I can't even talk because I'm so choked up. This is so exciting. Including federal prosecution. Just breathe, Nez. Okay. And possible tax fraud due to differing state tax rates. Politically, I mean, especially from the irony seen with all her actions, given her pursuit of Trump, there's a legal path here, folks, to not only remove her from office, but she may even face some serious prosecution, which could lead to potentially some jail time. Potentially. I'm just throwing it out. Legal experts, including former federal prosecutor Naima Rahmani, suggest this could constitute mortgage fraud. Primary residence mortgages typically offer lower interest rates. So just to sum this up, so what I've researched, it indicates that she misrepresented her residency to secure financial benefits. She violated mortgage and tax laws, which have unbelievably significant implications of her office for eligibility. It also underscores, okay, these legal accountabilities, especially given the fact that her role in prosecuting similar charges against Trump and further investigation and legal proceedings will likely clarify the extent of these allegations and their impact. In other words, she's effed. But here, I'm gonna share this clip from Jonathan Turley, who is a legal expert who will give a little more background and a little more succinct kind of analysis of what's really going on here. Watch this.
Jonathan, mortgage fraud is rampant in the United States. There's all sorts of fraud that's rampant. There's disability fraud that they've vowed to crack down on in the Trump administration. But this is another thing that they have vowed to crack down on because it costs real money. Your reaction to these allegations?
Well, obviously, the irony is perfectly crushing. This is a person who prosecuted Trump for everything short of ripping a label off a mattress. And among the charges that were brought in New York, in not just the civil but the criminal case, was making false or misleading statements to financial institutions. And one of these sections, Section 1014 of the federal code, is prosecuted. It took me about 60 seconds of a search to find cases that the Department of Justice brought against people who falsely claimed that property was their principal residence in order to get loans. So this is well-tread areas for the Justice Department. As for James, if we apply the Letitia James standard that she created, there'd be little question here. This seems pretty straightforward. What the administration is saying is this was not her principal residence. In fact, as a New York elected official, she had to say that her principal residence was in New York. This was an out-of-state residence. But also, they claim that in some of these forms, she actually states that her father is her husband in order to file as a married couple. So there's a lot of those questions. And as you know, the Supreme Court just stated earlier in March in a case called Thompson that they want to see knowing false statements under sections like 1014, not just misleading statements. These are misleading statements. Either it's your principal residence or it's not.
Or it's not.
Either you're married to your father or he's your father. So they can this can satisfy the Thompson standard.
Yeah, well, Jonathan, we reached out to the DOJ, and they have no comment on this referral. We also reached out to Attorney General James, who did not respond to us either. So again, everyone wants the best interest rate you can get. I understand that. But, you know, she's a lawyer. She knows that when you sign a mortgage application, that mortgage application, if you're borrowing money, if you're not borrowing money, nobody cares whether it's your principal residence, except, you know, where you file your taxes. But she decided to state that that was her principal residence, knowing it was not her principal residence. I didn't even know she had property. I mean, I guess she had property in Virginia and she has rental or investment property in New York. That's fine. But in the New York matter, to get the favorable rate, the building could only have 4 units. But for, it looks like its entirety, the entirety of this building, it had 5 units, meaning it was in violation of the actual loan agreement. And again, this is not a novel application of the law, Jonathan. As you stated during the persecution of Donald Trump, she was using all these novel applications of law to go after him. This isn't novel. This is a black and white issue. You either did or you didn't.
Right, and this has been prosecuted in the past. Now, we have not heard her side of this, but these documents themselves are quite damning. It's hard to see how the residences listed were her principal residence. The business about her father is just bizarre. Now, I'll note that one of the things that Letitia James stressed in her case against Trump is that Trump had to review documents that were filed in his name. And so she dismissed the argument that this was something that Trump's people put together. She said he's ultimately responsible. So they allege that she gave a power of attorney in a couple of these instances, but according to her own standard, that's not enough.
You see how it is in his nation? You see what it is? Same with Cash Money G, same with Kamala, same with Jack the Ripper Smith, same with Michael Avenatti, if you really want to go all the way back. Wiener, right? Wienergate. All of these disgusting, repulsive hypocrites, which is why I call them not the Democrats, the hypocrites. And now the beautiful, divine entity of irony turns its head and comes right back, full-fledged, in the face of Letitia Big Shame James. I can't wait to get your comments on this. Now, this is a criminal referral, okay, by Bill Pulte, the director of the Federal Housing Agency. But this is a very legitimate, super, super serious criminal referral. And the DOJ is going to take this seriously. Pam Bondi is going to take this seriously. And with all intents and purposes, charges and a potential God knows what hearing are imminent. And your boy Nez always keeps you in the loop. Holy mackerel. Absolutely huge. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this. Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to check out these amazing videos if you, just in case you missed them. Tap my face right there to subscribe and follow. Get your very own one-of-a-kind made in the USA design merch in the pinned comment. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless the USA. I'll see you soon.